Well, hello, First Baptist. Pastor Brad Stahl here to give you a weekly word of update. As we get closer and closer to reopening our campus, we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you, and hopefully you will be able to take the First Baptist reopening survey that many of you probably already received an email this week, but that you can click on a link right underneath this video to take and to give us an idea of what things will look like when we gather back on our grounds. Our staff and our diaconate want to just kind of gauge your feelings towards what this looks like. Your attitude towards returning on the grounds on Sunday mornings. What precautions you might consider taking as you come onto the grounds, gloves, masks, and those types of things. What precautions you might want First Baptist to be able to take, such as not greeting one another with handshakes and passing the offering plate and such. What you'll be doing with your children and your youth when you come back. Would you want them to be in programs, or would you want them to be in the worship service with you? Even on down to what level of comfort you might have in our worship services. If they were 100% full, or 75% full, or half filled, or 25% full. We just want to get a gauge for how you're doing and feeling with those types of things, so that we can be best prepared for when that day finally comes. So we want to hear from you as we kind of balance being the church community in the midst of our city community, in the midst of all of our country and the reopening process that is taking place. We want to be great citizens who think of safety first and foremost, but then also respect for our government leaders that God has placed into authority, but then most of all, listening to God as He dictates that right time for us to step back in and be able to worship on a regular basis here on the ground. So just 10 questions on the survey. Just take you a few minutes to do it. And as I said, it's on the link in this email that you can check into. Within hours of posting it yesterday, we had hundreds and hundreds of people already give us great feedback. And so we thank you so much for that. And just because we have not been meeting on the grounds here on Sunday mornings doesn't mean that people have not been meeting and gathering. In fact, people are starting to have watch parties in their homes, gathering either by friendships or zip code or community groups or Sunday school classes, watching the services at 9:30 or 11:15, gathering then afterwards for some lunch and some great fellowship, and acting truly like the first century church. That's exciting to know that that's taking place. And I want to encourage you, if you would like to do that you can get together with others. We encourage you to take that step. But just in case you missed it, last Tuesday, we were open. We were open for a service time in our parking lot, our first drive-in service that we've ever had. In fact, it was a packed parking lot of prayer and praise is what it was. Overflow parking, people worshiping in cars, putting their hands out their sunroofs, out their car windows, honking affirmations of amens and songs as we were singing them together. It's a day I'll never forget, and I know anybody who was here won't forget that day as well, because we know that God is still working no matter what. The church has not ever been closed. We are still worshiping, we are still praising Him, and God is still working in our midst. So as we look, though, towards reopening on our campus, hopefully sooner than later, please be in prayer for our staff and our diaconate board, that we may be like the men of Issachar. And if you don't know what that story says, it says in 1 Chronicles chapter 12, where it says in verse 32, the men of Issachar, men who understood the times and knew what Israel should do. That's what we're looking and praying to the Lord for. He's got this all worked out. He knows the timing of it all. He's just revealing it to us as we continue to put our ears attentive to what the Lord's doing, as we listen to all of you, as you take those surveys and give us feedback on that. And we look forward to God revealing that right date and right time when we'll open back up. So thanks for taking that survey. Great to see so many of you last Tuesday at the drive-in service. And we look forward to seeing you real soon. Until then, we'll see you on Sunday online.